Hey guys, it's Mike with another King Arthur Legends Rise video. Today we're going to jump into the dungeons, take a look at dungeon 10s and as far as I've gotten in some of the other dungeons, talk about some strategies and some key players to work on and work towards, and some different options in case you're falling a little bit short on your heroes. We're also going to talk a little bit about the events going on, how to accumulate different tokens and so forth, and probably where the best place to spend those is, and probably a little bit about progress and where to press your materials. And then we do have a couple summons to do at the end of the video, as well as a chivalry upgrade. So let's get into it. So starting out with the restricted area, jumping into the dungeons. Plane of the Beast, I am farming stage 10 now. I have been for probably a couple days. I got a suggestion in the comments. I forgot to look it up who said it, but they said bring Tristan in as your lead and they'll probably be able to clear it easily. For me, it wasn't easy, but it cleared it. And it's probably about a 60% success rate. That being said, if you remove Tristan, come in with another healer. Somebody like maybe doing a Nika over here for extra health, as well as like a Turin, and doing something along this line. I had a lot of success here. The only thing is you just got to make sure everybody's durable enough to take on the biggest hits, and then make sure your healers have enough heal on them so that they're getting you topped off before the next big hit. But if you don't have a Nika, you could probably roll over, do a not a Rosier, do a Sarah. You could do trying to think, somebody like probably an Arduin would work. I'm trying to think. Any of your healers, Clementine would probably work, and maybe even Isolde. So all those champions, just bringing in 2 healers. But I'd probably bring Morgan in as your lead because she does have that lead ability, and then bring in that secondary healer, and that would probably get you where you need to go. My runs that I'm running are not fast. I mean, you can see how quick they are out here. I got 5 minutes now. Obviously at 3 times speed, that's not significantly, it's not super long, but I mean, ideally we could get these speeds down quite a bit and be farming through here pretty quickly. I haven't put a lot of energy in here because of the events that are going on. We'll talk about why I'm allocating all of my stamina into those events. I would say as far as Kay goes, she is probably a must. She has a 5-hitter on her A1, she's got a 4-hitter AoE on her A3, and then a 4-hitter on her A2. And all of those abilities work out great to bring the boar shield down. So I would say that Kay is probably necessary in this one. I don't know you could really replace her. Morgan is obviously always helpful. She got the double hitter on her A2, and then she's doing turn meter. If we look at some of the best teams out there, you can see we've got Kay is going to be in most of them. You also have Anya. Now Anya sets up a counter so that when the board does his AoE, all of your champions will attack them back. A, doing a lot of damage, B, depleting that shield quickly. So that's actually a great call out there. They're still using Tristan. Here we're using Bedivere. So, I mean, this seems to be a pretty stout team. Obviously, Anya is not exactly free-to-play friendly. But I will say, as you look at different chivalry levels, like it starts to kind of matter. Even Morgan on chivalry level 3, we'll talk about some of the benefits you get as you just get even slight chivalries, which gets me excited to try to start getting some other champions up. If we take a look at Pinbid, you can see a lot of his active skills actually put this attack speed decrease on you for a long time, which is kind of a struggle. It really slows your team down. This is where Morgan really comes into effect because you're basically slowing the boar down as well. If you did happen to have somebody who is removing even random debuffs from your team with an ability that had multiple hits on them, probably wouldn't be a bad choice, or a healer that would do that as well. I'm pretty sure one of them does. I can't remember which one. I know Sarah's got the buff disruptor for the enemy, but so that attack speed decrease is going to make this battle harder and harder. So having somebody that's taking that off would be a big benefit. As we move over to Gorgos 10, now this team is not 100%, but it is probably around 80%. But we got Jarrett here. He's 6-star 60. We've got him in his Frost Relic finally. We got Lancelot, Rosier, and Nika. Now before I got Lancelot set up and dialed in for this team, I was running it with Turin, And Turin actually made this entire battle probably more consistent. It was just a lot slower because you're getting a dot damage from Rosier, but between Nika and Turin, you're keeping your team topped off with health as long as you build them tanky enough so that they're not dying during the large AoE attacks. But as long as they survive through the attack, they have full health by the time the next one comes around. So this team worked out really good for me, but it was kind of taking some time. So from there, I added Lancelot. Where's he at? There he is. Into that team, and just to speed it up. And it does speed it up, but it's not quite as consistent. I'm not durable enough yet to move Lancelot into the speed position. I need that extra health from Nika on her lead ability here, grants all allies max HP plus 20%. That is necessary. If she's not there, these folks will consistently die. So I'm not quite there with the gear yet, but I am working towards it. But over time, I should be able to move her out of the lead spot, put Lancelot in, and then use that that speed up lead that he has. You could also replace Rosier with Anguish. He does great dot damage with his A3 ability. I just found personally that if you do have Rosier specifically with her Flame Relic, she lands more dots than Anguish does. So she's going to speed the run up for you. That's why I'm using her. She is a little bit squishier, so she's harder to keep alive. And he has the Frost relic, so he's going to be positive affinity, so he might be the easier choice out of the gate. But Rosier should start to help speed those battles up once you get her Fire Relic. If you don't have her Fire Relic, I definitely would lean towards Anguish, just because he's going to be more durable and more consistent for you. And her AoE ability on the relic she comes with, it doesn't really help you here. I mean, it will land a dot or two, but not the way the Fire Relic does with her A3. That really brings it. I think she can land up to 3 bleeds, and then if she procs that secondary ability, she can land, I think, up to 5. At least 4. So you put her in there, and she's going to just speed the team up quite a bit. If you can make the team fast enough to get 2 turns to every Gorgos' 1, or like a 3-2 ratio or something like that, you're going to be able to stack up dots on the boss. That was the other thing, is Rosier's, a couple of hers will land with 2-turn cooldown instead of 1, whereas Anguish, you got to get those dots up every single time because they don't stack up. So that is another benefit there. I think Nika in this space could be replaced by a Turin, by any of your healers, Sarah. Take your pick. The only thing is, if you don't have that lead ability, it's going to be a little bit harder to make them durable enough to get through it. But this team here is fairly consistent for me. Once Lancelot gets completely dialed in, I think he's usually the first to die, although it could be Rosier, but I need to work on her chivalry here. She's at chivalry level 3. Start getting some of those stats up, and she's going to be just fine. So now that I'm farming at stage 10 in Plain of the Beast and Burning Land, I have been putting a little bit of energy into Frozen Plain. Frozen Plain and Shrine of Storms are definitely areas of opportunity for me. So I'm farming here at Plane 8. Obviously, it's taken a very long time. I think the move here is I need to build Accolone, or I need to find an additional an additional person that does the heal disruption. So Morgan does the heal disruption on her A3, but you only have 1 turn to land it. So if she's fast enough and it times out right, you might have 2 opportunities, but it is an ability with a % chance of landing. So every time you don't land it, especially at the higher levels, the bear just gets so much health back, and it just takes forever. So I think I do need a secondary person. I think I could probably get rid of my second healer and move that person. I think it's Accolone is the one I'm thinking, but there might be somebody I'm not thinking about that also does that ability. So hopefully I have somebody that's already built, because I haven't really worked on Accolone at all. But that would be a great way to get that. And I think with Accolone's ability, his will actually land for 2 turns. And so with 2 turns, now you have twice the opportunity to get it landed so that the bear doesn't get that massive heal. So once I have another heal disruptor going on, I'm going to press on in Frozen Plains. But right now, this is kind of where I'm at. I have been moving around different damage dealers from Cormac to Bedivere here. If we take a peek at some of the recommendations, they've got Morgan in here for the recovery disruption. Saying K has recovery disruption. I'm pretty sure that's not true. I'll have to look at that. Accolone for sure, and I guess this uncommon guy. So with K here, that's kind of sneaky. On her Frost Relic, she does have recovery disruption, which might be easier to pick up her Frost Relic than it is for me to build Accolone. It's on all enemies for 1 turn, only a 40% chance to land it, but in that space, if I have her with her 40% chance on her A2, and then Morgan with her, I think, let's take a peek at Morgan. I think she does a 50% chance, 70% chance on her A3. Between the two of them, probably be a little more consistent. I would really like to get it up for 2 turns though, because that way you have more opportunity to be successful. But that could be an alternative, is using K and her Frost Relic. If we take a look at the best teams out there, Bedivere, Anya, Tristan, and Morgan seem to be the top 3. Just completely going in with damage. I wonder if the bear even gets to hibernate, and whether or not you even need to land that health disruption. But with this team here, maybe you only have to do it 1 time. Anya is sneaky damage because she sets up a counter for your entire team, and then when they attack back, obviously they're doing damage. One thing to keep in mind though is these champions do gain a lot of abilities as their chivalry level. Specifically Anya, I think around chivalry 3 or 4, becomes significantly more usable. So even though it doesn't seem like she's very high on that list, that is probably a prerequisite to put this team together. But it kind of gives you an idea of what to aim for and what to start building. And in Shrine of Storms, I have not put hardly any energy into it. The team I'm trying to run is actually going to include Sergius, but for the time being, he just does not. I don't have his Flame Relic. He's not fast enough. Like, it's just a problem. But between him and Morgan, the goal there is for the Tarask. I would say the cat. So the Tarask doesn't get a turn at all, or maybe 1 turn. But trying to survive. He does hit really hard, so you got to make your team really durable. I was trying to speed my team up with Lancelot. Probably be better bringing Nika over here just to get that extra HP. But that's kind of where we're at there. I do need to really focus on here because I don't think I have hardly any of my relics that are, as you can see down here, none of them are awakened except for Rosier for some reason. That I must have randomly got whatever she needed to get her relic awakened. I was trying to focus on relics I know that are long term, like Rosier. It seems to be the consensus. The Fire Relic is her best relic. I do also have Wind, and I think I have all 3 of hers. Yeah, so I can pick which one I want there, but I didn't want to put a lot of energy into the ones that I'm not going to use. It seems to be that this one is the most used. On Morgan, I only have the Fire Relic, and then yeah. So these guys, I don't have any choice. This is just where I'm at. But the fire here is going to be a good win because you're coming over the storm and you're going to be positive affinity there. So when you're taking those big shots, you're taking a little bit less damage. Jumping out into the hero event dungeon, we've got 7 days left on this, and I've been stuck on stage 6. Now that's not too bad. And what I've been doing is I've actually been using my team that you see here. And I think you could probably replace Nika with another healer here. But what I'm trying to do, and my Charlotte is on level 55 star. So she usually dies, which kind of plays into her kit, but she's not doing a lot of damage. She is there specifically for this extra 100% of the tokens. So you get 100% of the tokens, 25, 20. You can find out where the bonuses are right down here. So you can see if you can use, if I had Vivian, she'd be on the team. If you use these champions, you get extra tokens for every completion. So I run through the battle. I just go through with this team, and it seems to just clear it pretty easily. I cannot beat the 7th stage right now, which is kind of frustrating. I feel like I have the players to do it. I just haven't found the combination that works. In here, if you're interested, I don't know if you have this exact team or not, but skill order. With Charlotte, I am using her A3. Probably shouldn't. I shouldn't waste the chivalry on it because it's such a light ability. Rosier's coming in with single target damage. Cormac's doing his nuke. Nika's keeping people alive. And that's pretty much all I got going on. But you can see I'm taking 500 off because I don't even know what gear I have on her. Probably just stuff I threw on there. So she's probably not even built correctly. But she's in on that team getting me that extra 100% on those tokens. So this team kind of zips through it, you know, fast enough. I've been farming all of my extra stamina has been right here. I'm really trying to accumulate enough tokens where I can buy almost everything in the event shop, but unfortunately that's going to take a lot of stamina. Like, I've used all of my stamina in my item box. I buy the 2 for 50 rubies every day. I've been kind of plugging away trying to get it, but there's a Storm Relic for Anya I already purchased. There's a Flame Relic for Iwit I've already purchased. And those relics I think are pretty hard to come by. So even though I don't have Iwit as a champion, it probably makes sense for me to pick it up. So that way when I do have her, I can move her right into that relic. And I'm not trying to farm it later or trying to get lucky later. Plus, if I do happen to pull it, I can sell it and turn it into those tokens, and you get quite a few tokens for it. So with this team here on stage 6, I'm earning 1,400. Before I put these guys in here, I had a different team. I think I was earning like 700. So I got significantly more tokens, and unfortunately I blew a lot of energy, like 500 stamina I blew before I realized that I was a bonehead and needed to put these people on my team. So that just a word to the wise on that. Hopefully that helps you out. But then you can get these tokens here and head over to the event shop. So in the event shop, the 2 things I prioritized was Iwit's Flame Relic and Anya's Storm Relic. Whether you have these champions or not, I think these are good pickups because they're going to be on your account. You can hold on to them until you get the champion. From there, I think I'm going to focus on I'm actually going to save them up and see if I can get to the legendary. But outside of that, these guys I've got my eye on. You get 5 of them for 3,500 or for 35,000. It's a 0 between friends. 35,000. Definitely like to pick these up. If I happen to have extras, the talisman. These guys are actually a really good reward. And the reason for that is this is a limited thing you can do daily. So when you're trying to collect talismans, you can only get them from like events like that. You can also get them in the shop where I come in here every day. Yeah, come on now. There we go. I come in here every day. If there's talismans for sale, I'm picking them up. Also books. Stones, you can farm those other places. Brooches, you can farm other places. I just pick them up anyway. But these talismans in the books, I pick up every single day, regardless of what's in there. The reason for that is the sealed temple, you only get 6 runs per day. So these resources in here are going to be extremely limited on your account. So those talismans and those books, there's no other way to get them other than here. So you can't just go farm them when you want them. So every time you see those available, I would try to pick them up because it's going to help advance your account along a little faster with upgrading skills on both your champion and your relics. So that's just a little bit of a word to the wise there. The other thing I do every day that may be worthwhile is coming into the alchemy, and down here daily perks. I go through and I alchemize. I don't go with it. Alchemize. All of these that I can. So I don't spend a lot of time farming in frozen plains. I need to figure my life out to start doing that. But if I can alchemize, alchemize is a word. Look, it's right there. If I can't alchemize this, I do them every day. There's also like different little tasks that you have to do in progression that you need to alchemize 200 things or whatever the case is, so that does help as well. And then doubling up on the events right now, you do have Podarge's Sanctuary. I haven't spent a lot of time here just because I have not been able to get past Sanctuary 4. I really would like to start getting into here. I'm hoping that you get 3 to 5 star gear, where at least on Sanctuary 5 I can actually get some gear that's going to better my account. But the struggle with that is under the events, which they have in a different spot. This is permanent content that will be in the game, so that's kind of nice. But under the events, I gotta find the icon. They're everywhere. You only have so much time. We got 7 days to accumulate these tokens, and these rewards in here are actually pretty good. I would really like to get to this 5-6 star gear, but I need basically 3 times more than I've already done. Which is kind of a little bit rough, especially when I'm putting all of my energy into this dungeon so that I can get into the... Where's the shop? Where's the shop? Go to event. I guess I gotta go to the event to get these guys knocked out. So maybe it's the wrong choice. Maybe I need to put my sights down a little bit and not go for some of these more expensive things and start working on Podarge's dungeon. But again, I'm not getting gear in there that is going to better my, like a 4-star piece. I'm almost at that stage where I'm selling all my 4-star gear. So 4-star, even if it isn't a new set, I don't know how long I'm going to use it. So I'd rather get this stuff on my account than a 4-star piece of gear. As we jump over into our champions, I did want to take a brief minute to talk about chivalries, because I think it gets overlooked quite a bit when you're looking at trying to build free-to-play friendly teams. Chivalries add quite a bit to a champion. So with Morgan, for example, like she's in there specifically so that she can land her her turn meter manipulation. Like that's really, like everywhere you use her, you're pretty much spamming her A2 with the exception of Audrey the bear, that she uses her A3 to get that heal disruption or recovery disruption. But as you look at the chivalries here, the first one here, 100% chance to grant each ally damage dealt. So that's just going to increase damage, but that's not a huge game changer. So a chivalry level 1 Morgan compared to 0, probably going to be able to get through most of the same content. You move into chivalry level 2, now you're actually getting attack gauge reduction 15%. So when you're trying to adjust your attack gauge, she's doing significantly more attack gauge reduction with her chivalry 2. So as we move over to this third chivalry, this one is deceptively good. Because you look at it, you're like, all right, skill enhancement activates when conditioned when attacking. So, and you look at Squall of Thorns, you're like, okay, she's putting the defense or decreased defense and damage taken increase on for 2 turns. Now, this is on a 2-turn cooldown, but now this becomes, instead of on the ability that it's attached to, which I think it's her A3, it works anytime she's attacking. So when she's doing her A2, that's an AoE ability. Now all of a sudden she's an AoE defense down for 2 turns and an AoE damage taken increase for 2 turns. So when you're trying to do faster runs and even getting through content kind of quickly so you don't die, this is huge because you got defense down on every enemy and you're getting the damage taken increase. So now I personally have not seen this land as an AoE on every single ally. It's a 100% chance, so maybe my effect accuracy is not high enough. But this is a huge pickup in ability right here on Chivalry 3. As we move over to Chivalry 4, now this is going to be kind of a big one for Audrey, I think. Because when you after an ally attacks, if the target is inflicted with an abnormal status, there's a 100% chance to reduce the target's attack gauge by 10%. So more attack gauge reduction is going to be taking place here. And you have a 100% chance to inflict recovery disruption. Now I don't know if Audrey the bear is going to be actually engaging this. It is on a 3-turn cooldown. But this could really be a game changer for how often she's dropping that recovery disruption. So again, when you're looking at some of those high-end teams and you see Morgan on Chivalry level 8, these are the kind of subtle things that might be the reason that Bear's not healing after hibernation, because we're getting just that one extra recovery disruption or whatever the case is. So that's just something to keep in mind. I have been saving up these tokens. I'm going to take my Morgan to Chivalry level 4 right now. Gotta click on it. There we go. I was nervous. I was like, what happened? I do think Morgan is worth putting a lot of energy into. Like, as you get these guys here, I would almost exclusively build Morgan out. I don't know to what level yet. Typically 8 seems to be the way to go, but that's a lot of resources going into her. But Chivalry level 4 hopefully will help me advance in Audrey. And we take a look at Chivalry level 5, we're starting to get attack speed plus 20 and attack percent, which is good too. But that 20 attack speed is going to be huge for her with her attack gauge manipulation going on. So as I get these tokens, I'm pretty much burying them right here in Morgan. You look at me, you say, oh, you got a C4 Morgan already. Well, I actually got your freebie. My second legendary I pulled was a dupe Morgan. And then I've used, I think, 3... I think I've used 3 of these guys to do the other chivalries. And despite being a dirty pay-to-win player, I pretty much have earned almost all of these in-game. So, I mean, a Chivalry level 3 Morgan is not unachievable for a free-to-play account after 30 days if you happen to get lucky and pull her second after you get her for free. But within, 45-ish days, you could be Chivalry level 3, 4, somewhere in there, depending on how you're using these tokens. All right, let's jump over here. We're gonna get some summons going on. We got these guys here, which are basically useless, so we're gonna bring them in here, get up to a rare. I did not get a single rare, so those are all common and uncommon. We'll turn those into those tokens so that I can begin to trade those out and get relics that I actually care about. On the Storm Relic, still, I'm at 1 of 10. I got 0 of 10. We just did the summon, so I'm pretty depleted. We're going to warm ourselves up with some common pulls here. Get these 10 packs rolling in. Chivalries are starting to stack up on the account. The more and more people I get maxed out to level 10, the more and more I can convert into those shard stones, and then I can buy the chivalry for the characters that I want, which I think is going to be a pretty big win, and it's going to snowball. Because once you start getting, hey, you got a rare. Once you start getting those trickling in, you're gonna more and more of them are gonna make it stack even faster. So those are big. Wreck-It Ralph. I feel like I've been crushing Ralph lately, but you see here over on Douglas, I'm at 9. We got 8 over here, so we're starting to get there. We're starting to put those together, which is pretty good. Rate up summons, I am going to sit tight on for the next champion. I do have Charlotte on the account already. I do like the idea of being able to get high chivalry for folks, but my strategy right now is I want to accumulate all the champions, ideally, and then I can kind of focus on buying their chivalry over time in the shard shop. So we're going to move over to the special summons. We're going to make this a cheeky 20 pull. We're pretty far from pity. We just got Gawain the other day, so I can't really have any expectations here, just hopes and dreams. So let's see if we get lucky today. We got a rare. Oh, we did get lucky. All right. So we got a legendary. Still have not gotten a 2 legendary pull in a 10-pack. Urian's great champion. So pretty excited to bring him on for chivalry. Khalik is getting up there with his chivalry, so that's a good one. Let's see who we got. Do not follow in Lot's foot. Is it Lot? Oh, no. That is awesome. Irit. So this is a huge pull for me. So I have seen Irit, I believe, with the Flame Relic being like the #1 damage dealer in the game. The thing for me that makes this such an amazing pull, I just bought the Flame Relic from the store in anticipation of this moment exactly. I didn't think it was going to happen so soon. But all of my huge damage dealers are Frost. So anytime I'm going up against a flame champion, such as the dragon or whatever, like I'm negative affinity, and it makes it really tough. So Irit being flame is going to help me out dramatically in this space. And I think her Frost Relic is actually really good as well. But I do think I've heard the Flame Relic is the best. But now that I have her, I can look at the two and see which one is actually better. But that is a huge pull. Welcome to the team. That is exciting. So we got, and we might have finished out Douglas with that chivalry. So that is super exciting. That's awesome. We're going to go ahead and complete this 10 pull and see if we get lucky again. Why not? Why not? We just get lucky on the account. We got a rare. We got a rare. So hopefully multiple rares. Hey, 4 rares. Can't complain about that. Let's take a peek at who we got. We got Bodwin, Isolde here, Clementine, and Nicholas. So again, just working on these chivalries, stacking them up, getting them closer and closer. Let's jump out and take a look at Irit's kit and see which one of those relics actually makes the most sense. And I had to scroll way down the list to find her down here. She's a serpent also. I feel like the serpent faction is just stacked. Now the fun thing with Irit is on her relics, I actually pulled her storm relic. So we can summon that. Oh, silly me. That was 850. Oh, no, I have 850. I was like, that was 850,000 gold. And then we also just purchased her flame. So I have all 3 of her relics, which is going to be a pretty big win. So let's take a quick look at her passives before we jump into her active skills on the different relics there. But when attacking, 100% chance to grant Serpent Favor Ally crit rate increase for 2 turns. So that's going to be pretty big. So you run her with your Morgan, your Nika, all your Serpent. I think, what's her name? Clarissa is also Serpent. I think Sigrun is also a Serpent. So all those folks are going to get that crit rate increase, which is going to be pretty big. As we move over to her passive 2 or P2 here, after using a skill, 100% chance to gain Black Magic Wrath for 2 turns and 100% chance to charge attack gauge by 50%. So that's pretty good. What is Black Magic Wrath? That is crit damage by 30, hit accuracy by 20. So that's pretty big for 2 turns, and you're going to charge her attack gauge back 50% right out of the gate. So that's actually a really good, strong ability there. When attacking while you have Black Magic Wrath, 100% chance to charge attack gauge by 100% on a 4-turn cooldown, books down to 2. 100% chance to gain Prepare Black Magic Tracking. I feel like every champion has their own buffs, which adds a lot of complication to the game that I feel like could kind of get consolidated in some spaces. But Black Magic Tracking attacks one enemy, damage 55%, attacks all enemies, damage 100%. If the last hit strikes a target with 3 or more marks on them, each one has a 100% chance to trigger Mark Explosion. Target explode, all mark target explode, inflicting damage. It doesn't tell you how much damage, but it explodes, so it's probably a lot. So that's actually a pretty strong ability right there. But if you pair her with like a Sigrun or another Mark champion, this could be a really big explosion that she's doing. So let's take a quick peek at her active abilities on the Frost Relic. We're looking at attacks one enemy 2 times, total damage, and she does inflict Mark 60% chance. And on the Fire Relic, it is going to be attacks one enemy, 1 random, total damage 52, 80% chance. So her chance goes up, her attack power goes down on the Flame Relic. And then on the Storm Relic, we are going to go attacks one enemy, 2 random, 60% chance. So she's going to 1 enemy and 2 random enemies. So she's going to hit up to 3 targets. Total damage is pretty low, but we got a 50 or 60% mark compared to the Frost, which was which was 60 as well. So the Flame Relic steps up 80%. There's so much to look at. It steps up 80%, but you do draw down your your damage that you're dealing. On the A2, 100% chance for crit damage, 100% chance for crit rate, 100% chance for effect accuracy, 100% chance to inflict mark. So we click over on the Flame. We've got 100% chance. So we're actually attacking one enemy 3 times. 100% chance to gain crit damage, crit rate, and inflict mark for 2 turns. Was the other one 2 turns? It was only 1 turn. So the Flame Relic will inflict mark for 2 turns. So that's pretty good. Plus it doesn't attack. On the Wind Relic, or the Storm Relic, 100% chance for crit damage, crit rate, effect accuracy, and then mark for 1 turn. So on the Flame, you do lose the effect accuracy, but you get mark for an extra turn. So that's pretty good. And then coming back to the A3, if you can keep track of all the stuff going on here, we're on the Frost Relic. Attack one enemy 3 times, total damage is pretty strong. Deals additional damage if the target's under mark. So deals an additional 117. That's actually a pretty strong move on the Frost. On the Flame Relic, we're going to do attack all enemies 108%, deals additional damage of 60% under mark. So that's pretty good. Becomes an AoE versus a single target, 3-hitter. And then on the Storm, we have, again, that actually looks to be the same ability. So yeah, so as far as that goes, I think the Flame Relic is, because of the A2 getting 2 turns of mark and this being an attack, I think is going to be kind of the big winner there, plus the enhanced chance of landing mark. Although I would say if you're running her with a mark champion such as Sigrun, the Storm Relic also might be strong because you still get this AoE ability on the A3, but you also get the effect accuracy increase to help you land those things and help Sigrun land her marks as well on the A2. But I think the Flame Relic is still stronger, so we are going to equip that one and start moving on building that. But that's about what I got for you today. This video got a lot longer once we pulled Ira and had to go through our entire kit and all of the relics that we have. So that's kind of, but I think there's good information in there. Hopefully you found it useful. I appreciate you sticking with me all the way to the end, and I look forward to seeing you next time.